In this video I'm going to look back at the advice Adrian gave you about tackling question 4. It's worth 16 marks and is the highest scoring of the reading questions in paper 2. So you should spend about 20 minutes both planning and drafting your answer. It's a comparison question and you'll be asked to write a comparison that covers both texts, both source A and source B, and you'll be asked to compare the views and the perspectives of the writers. In the paper that you looked at with Adrian, the topic was their different views and experiences of war. So you'll be asked to comment on the writer's views and perspectives on a particular topic. You'll be asked to comment on their methods, the language devices that they use and how effective they were on you as the reader, and you'll need obviously to make references to both texts by way of using quotes. It's worth 16 marks, so you'll need to plan this one with care, and this is the grid that Adrian suggested, which will help you to make a note of some relevant quotes that illustrate the writer's views and perspectives on the topic you're asked to consider, and then begin to make some notes on the particular language device that quote illustrates, and begin to think about how effective that language device is, its effect on you as the reader. So you need to gather together some quotes, work through each text, and then begin to kind of think, well, what are the links? How can I compare those the writers to perspectives on that topic? There will be differences, in which case you can use connectives like on the other hand, in contrast. There'll be points of similarity as well, in which case you could use connectives like similarly, in the same way, also. So find some quotes, begin to consider how that quote illustrates a particular language device and how effective it is. So you need to work through each text, gathering your ideas, thinking about the stylistic techniques, and you don't necessarily have to write 4 paragraphs. Adrian suggested that you could craft 2 slightly longer paragraphs using different kinds of connectives, and we'll have a look at those shortly. As you know, it's important to comment on the writer's stylistic techniques, and Adrian reminded you of the DeForest acronym, which is a useful summary of the key techniques you might like to consider. And Adrian also showed you a couple of sample paragraphs that were quite good, but were missing some key information. That first paragraph included a particular stylistic technique, but it didn't include any summary of the writer's view. The second paragraph, it did include a quick summary of the writer's viewpoint. The writer of source A is very anti-war, but it didn't contain any subject terminology or reference to the method. This was a much better example because it contains a quick statement of the writer's viewpoint, a bit of subject terminology to identify the stylistic technique there, the short embedded quote, and then the student has used a couple of sentences here to comment on the purpose and the effect of that language device on the reader. It's important to note here towards the end of the paragraph that we have a use of a connective on the other hand, which signals to the examiner that you're about to contrast both of those viewpoints. So you'll see in this much better paragraph that we have both elements. We've got a quick summary of the writer's view and perspective, but we've also got a brief commentary on the effectiveness of the language device that the writer has used, and a quick reference to the effect on the reader. So that's a quick look back at question 4, worth 16 marks, and so you should spend 20 minutes on tackling that question.